what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Fayy Lenee back with another video, and for today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys my favorites. Actually, it's going to be some favorites and some not so favorite products from February. There have been a ton of products that have been coming out over pretty much since we came into the new year. So I have been trying out a lot of new products. I still have a lot of products to try, but I do have a couple of new favorites, and I also have some products that did not quite work out for me. I'm also going to be giving you an update on a couple of products that I have reviewed on my channel so far, just to kind of let you know where I stand on some of those products, because my first impressions and my, I guess, thoughts about it now have kind of shifted on some of the products that I have reviewed so far on my channel. So I will be giving you guys an update on that. And yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for this intro. So before we jump into the video, if you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe down below. Join my fam here on YouTube. I would love to have you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And yeah, I think that's all. So let's go ahead and jump into the products. Okay, so before I jump into the makeup products, I have 4 non-makeup products that I want to share with you guys first before we get into all of that. So first up, I have a cleanser that I have been absolutely loving. It is by Glam Glow. This is the Glam Glow Super Cleanse Daily Clearing Treatment, which looks like this. This is basically a charcoal cleanser, and I think they changed the packaging on this. This one has a pump, but I'm pretty sure it now comes in like a squeezy tube packaging. I'm not for sure, but I'm almost positive they changed the packaging on this. But I have been loving this cleanser. This is a mud to foam cleanser, and the thing that I really love about this, first of all, is it is a charcoal cleanser, which is really good for my oily skin because it really gets deep down into my pores and cleanses my skin really, really well. I like to use this when I feel like I just need a really good detox to my skin. But I also really love that this foams up so luxuriously. I'm a big fan of really foamy cleansers because I just feel like my skin is getting more clean if it's more foamy. That probably doesn't have anything to do with anything, but that's just how I feel. So I really love this one because it foams up really nicely, and I just feel like it really gets my skin squeaky clean. Next up, I have 2 body products. The first one is this Dove Exfoliating Body Polish. This is the Crushed Macadamia and Rice Milk scent or version. And the thing that I really like about this is it's an exfoliator, but it's not super abrasive or super harsh on the skin. I have pretty sensitive skin, but my body is pretty dry. My face is super oily, but my body is pretty dry. I don't know how that happened, but that is my daily struggle, trying to find the balance. So I really like this because I feel like it does a great job of just exfoliating that dry, dead skin off of mostly like my legs and my arms is where I use it the most, and it just leaves my skin feeling super soft and super moisturized, and like I said, it's not too harsh on the skin. And then another body product I have been loving is this one. This is the Vaseline Intensive Care with Pure Cocoa Butter, and this is basically a gel oil moisturizer. So I have been using this in conjunction with my Bath & Body Works body cream. So you guys know Bath & Body Works has those really like thick body creams that come in tubs like this. Not the ones in the squeezy container, but the ones that come in tubs like this. I like to use that as my moisturizer whenever I get out of the shower. But I have been noticing that my skin doesn't really stay moisturized for a long period of time when I use that, but it smells really good. So I have been mixing this in. So I basically just take out a little bit of that, squeeze a little bit of this into it, mix it all together, and then I've been using that as my moisturizer, and it has left my skin glowing, and it just like smells really good. It moisturizes my skin really nicely, and it just leaves my skin looking so glowy and so just healthy and moisturized. So I just wanted to mention that. I've really been enjoying this. This is pretty inexpensive, and like I said, I've just been mixing it in with my moisturizers for a little bit of extra moisture. And then last but not least, I actually have this little towel, which I found this randomly at Walmart. I was not in there to get this, but I was walking around. I don't even remember what I was in there for, but I saw this hanging on like a random rack in the store, and I ended up picking it up. This is called the Turby Twist, and it's basically a towel for your hair, obviously. But the thing that I really like about this is it just makes like drying my hair a lot more convenient, because I am someone that does still dry my hair with a towel. I know, like, don't crucify me. I know there are some people that have like gotten away from using the towels and use like cotton t-shirts and stuff like that. Girl, I just use a regular old towel to dry my hair. Like, I keep it simple. But the only thing with that is after I wash my hair, I normally like to let my hair like towel dry for a couple of minutes just because my hair tends to hold a lot of moisture, and I just like to get it pretty dry before I go in with styling. And like walking around with this big towel on your head while you're trying to do other things is just not convenient. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, this would be like so much more like easier to wear. So I picked it up and I have really been loving this. So basically what you do is you put it on your head this way, and then you just twist this front part around to the back, and then it has a little like hook right here, or like little scrunchy situation, and you just slip it in there and it stays tied on your head. So like I said, this is the Turby Twist. I got it from Walmart. It was super inexpensive. It was like $5. But I wanted to share it with you guys. I'm sure there's other towels like this out there. But yeah, I just wanted to mention this to you guys because I've been using it for the past 2 weeks to dry my hair, and it's really light on my head. I can do a lot of other things around the house while my hair is drying, and it's just so much more convenient than a regular towel. Okay, so next up I have 3 brushes that I want to share with you guys that I have been loving. I have literally been going back to these brushes all month long, or all of last month, and I have just been absolutely loving these. I will go ahead and say they are dirty, so I'm sorry about that. I did not have time to clean them before this video because I've been using them, but I still wanted to share them with you guys even though they are dirty. So 2 of them are from Morphe, and then 1 is from Peach and Pearl. So the first one that I have is the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill JH03 foundation brush. I think that this is actually the same as a brush that Morphe already had in their collection that was just renamed and put in this particular collection that Jaclyn launched. So I don't remember the name of that brush, but I will find it and link it down below along with this one, because I think this one is a little bit more expensive just because it's part of a collection, but I think the original one is a little bit cheaper. So I'll try to look into that and let you guys know down below in the description if they are the same brush. I'm pretty sure they are. But this one I have really been loving. I find that it just blends the foundation out on my face so nicely. I am a fan of brushes over sponges for foundation application, and this one just gives me a really flawless finish. So I have been loving this one. The next one I have is the JH05 contour brush. I think this is actually a brush that she came up with. Like, it's a new, it wasn't a brush that they had previously. It was a brush that she actually created for her collection. And this was one of the brushes that she raved about when her collection launched as one of the ones that was one of her absolute favorites for contouring. I didn't pick up her full face collection just because I felt like I didn't need all of the brushes, but this was one that she raved about, so I picked this one up individually. And I can see why she raved about this brush. It is so good. I have been finding myself reaching for this one even more so than other contour brushes that I used to love before I got this one. It just fits really nicely in that contour area, and it also does a really great job of buffing out and blending out your contour at the same time, but it's not so big that it like becomes messy. It's precise, but it buffs it out at the same time. So this is one that I have also been loving. And then last but not least, I have the Peach and Pearl x Andrea Renee highlighting brush. And this brush right here, first of all, if you didn't know, my girl Andrea did a collaboration with Peach and Pearl where she came out with a brush set. So I will have that linked for you guys down below if you're interested in picking it up. You definitely should. She came out with some really great brushes. But this one right here, honestly, I'm gonna need them to sell it individually so I can buy like 5 more of them. I use this one so much for so many things. I like to use it to set under my eyes, to set like my highlighted areas, to dust off baking powder. Like, this brush is just so good. It's a really great multi-purpose brush. So as of right now, you can only purchase it as part of the set, but honestly, I think the set is like $50 and you get like 5 or 6 brushes, which is not bad, and the quality of the brushes is really, really good. So just, you know, go ahead and support my girl Andrea with her brush set. And like I said, you will get this one in the set, and this one is worth the $50 for the whole set. This one is bomb. So next up, I actually have a bunch of face products that I want to share with you guys. The first one is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. I have mine in the shade 12.5, and I have mentioned this on my channel before. I did do a full review on this foundation, so I will link that for you if you want to check it out or get more, like a more detailed, in-depth review or my opinion about this foundation. But this is such a good drugstore foundation. Honestly, this has become probably one of my favorite drugstore foundations. The applicator has like one of these little doe foot situations, which is similar to like Tarte Shape Tape but in a foundation form. But this one, if you have oily skin, it is so bomb. You could probably still use it if you have like normal or combination skin because it's not over drying, but it just applies so flawless to the skin and it wears so nicely on my oily skin. Even when I get oily throughout the day, this wears really nicely. It doesn't break up, it doesn't settle, and when I blot my oils, my face still looks flawless. So this shade is just slightly too dark for me, but once I highlight and do all of my regular face routine, it looks beautiful on the skin. So definitely wanted to mention this. I also wanted to mention to you guys the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealers. I feel like I may have mentioned these in my favorites last month. I don't remember for sure, but I did want to mention them again. I had these in my everyday makeup stash last month, and I was literally using these every single day non-stop. They are so good. I have the shades medium olive to highlight, and then neutral tan, which is more, it's a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but it's not really a highlight shade. It's more of like a concealing shade, and then medium olive is more of a highlight shade. But I really do like these concealers. And you guys know that I have been kind of having like watery eye situation, and I find that when I wear these concealers, it wears a lot more nicely when my eyes start to water. Like, it doesn't break up as much in this area when my eyes start to water whenever I wear this concealer. So this is definitely a long wear. Like, when you put it on, it's in place, you're good to go. So definitely wanted to mention these. Then next up, I have two face products that are new, recent launches. The first one is the Makeup Revolution Bake and Blot Powder. This powder actually comes in, I think, like 6 different shades, but I picked mine up in the shade Banana, and it looks like this. And the thing that I like to use this powder for is for setting my forehead and like under my eyes before I go in with baking. This is a technique that I actually picked up from Makeup Shayla whenever she wants like a really flawless, full coverage look to her face. She actually uses the MAC, what is it? The MAC Studio Fix Press Powder, but I just decided to pick up this one and try it out to pretty much do the same thing. And she just sets underneath her eyes, sets her forehead, sets, you know, wherever she highlights before she goes in with baking. So I've been trying that with this powder, and I've been loving the way that it looks, loving the results. And I also think that this is just a really good, just overall baking setting powder. And like I said, it does come in a couple of different shades. So I've really been enjoying that. And then also, if you were not aware, CoverGirl actually just launched a new line called Full Spectrum. They launched it, I think, within the last 3 or 4 months, and it's supposed to be a line that is specifically more catered to like multicultural or like women of color. And girl, the face products are bomb. The foundation is bomb. Like, the face products are bomb. I wanted to mention to you guys the Matte Ambition All Day Powder Foundations, which looks like this. I have a actual skin tone powder and then a lighter version that I have also been using to do the technique I was just talking about, setting underneath my eyes and on my forehead before baking. So my shade in this powder is 310 Tan Golden, and then my highlight shade is 170 Light Medium Golden. So if you aren't sure what to pick up from the collection, I would highly recommend these powders. They do come with a little sponge underneath. I don't use the sponge, I just apply it with a brush. But these powders apply to the skin so nicely, and I just find that they also just wear really nicely on me throughout the day, help to keep me matte. And yeah, I have been loving these. And then last but not least, for face products, I have the Huda Beauty, what is this called? Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I have mine in the shade Blondie. I was a little bit skeptical about picking this up because I know that there was kind of some controversy about these powders and the Beauty Bakery setting powders, and basically people were saying that Huda kind of took Beauty Bakery's whole concept and packaging and like the whole baking type situation. So when these first came out, I did not pick them up, but I decided to pick it up because I went to, I'm not sure if you guys follow Yeni Rose here on YouTube. She's also another creator, beauty influencer here on YouTube, and I went to her birthday dinner. And listen, there was a portion of the dinner where people kind of went around and shared about her, and then also as she was like opening her gifts and stuff like that, and she was like kind of crying at certain parts, like especially when her husband shared, she was crying, and her makeup was snatched, okay? Like there were no tear marks on her face. It just looked and stayed in place. It was like perfection. And she said that she used this setting powder. So that was enough for me right there. I was like, okay, girl, I'm about to pick this up because your under eyes are snatched and you're crying and doing a whole lot. Got a lot going on over there, and your makeup is staying in place. So I went ahead and picked this up. Like I said, I got mine in the shade Blondie, and I have been loving this setting powder. It sets underneath my eyes so nicely, and it's not like over drying underneath my eyes. So I have really been loving this. If you've been on the fence or looking for a new setting powder, I would highly recommend this one. And then last but not least, I have the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is another product that I have mentioned several times on my channel, so I won't spend too much time chatting about it, but this right here is so good. I have been using this every single day, literally every single day that I do my makeup, and I don't necessarily use this as like my oil controlling setting spray. I normally pair this one with another like long wear setting spray or like oil controlling setting spray, but I really like to spray this on my face before I highlight. So pretty much after I have all of my face products on, but before I highlight, I like to go in with this, and it just helps to melt everything together and just, I don't know what it is about this spray, but it just makes my face just come together and look flawless. If I feel like I went a little heavy on my bronzer, a little heavy on my blush, if I feel like I'm looking a little cakey, or if I applied too much powder, if I spray this spray, it just literally, I don't know what is in this bottle, but girl, this is by far one of my favorite setting sprays because it just, I don't know, it just does something, okay? It just does something. So I have been loving this, and I love the continuous spray situation. I didn't think that I would like that, but I actually really do like that it's just a continuous spray. It gives you a really even layer over your face, and it just melts all of the products together. So I know I've mentioned this before, but I had to give it another shout out. This is so good. Okay, so apparently I just realized that at some point this light over here went out. The light that I have that lights my background went out. You guys probably saw when it went out. So yeah, I'm almost done. So we're just gonna go ahead and finish up without the beautiful background lighting because I don't feel like waiting for the battery to charge. So those are all of the products that I have been loving. And then I just wanted to mention to you guys a couple of products that have been misses. Now, most of these products I actually have already returned to the store because I was just ready to be done with them and trade them out for something that I would actually use. So I will just include pictures, clips in this video of what those products look like. But most of them are products that I have reviewed on my channel, except for one that you guys have already seen on my channel, and I have already, you know, given you guys my thoughts and opinions about. So these will not come as any surprise to you guys, but in case you are new to my channel and have not seen those videos, I did want to quickly mention them at the end of this one. So first up, I wanted to mention to you guys the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop setting powder, which I do actually still have. I originally picked up the banana shade and I used it when I reviewed the Can't Stop Won't Stop powder and the concealer. And I told you guys in that video that I was not a fan of that powder for underneath my eyes because I just found it to be a little too over drying, and it just made my under eyes just look dry and cakey and just not cute. So I did end up taking that powder back to the store, and I actually swapped it out for this one. So this one is in the shade medium, and I do really like this powder for setting all over the face. So there is a little bit of redemption for this powder. I did not like it for under the eyes, but for setting all over the face, I do really like it, and I use the shade medium to do that. And I use this also to set my primers before I go in with my foundation on top. I like it for that, and then also just for setting all over the face. So wanted to mention that. I've mentioned to you guys in a couple of previous videos, like I said, that I was not a fan of this powder, but I do like it for setting all over the face. So wanted to give you guys that update. So the next few products are all products that I've actually already returned to the store, and yeah, they had to go. So the first one honestly was a little disappointing because I really wanted to love it, but it is the Fenty Pro Filter Setting Powder. I did do a full review on that powder, and I think there might have been some other new things that came out. Oh, the concealers. Yeah, the concealers. So I did a review on the powder and the concealer. I will link it for you guys if you guys want to see a full review. But I am not a fan of the powder. When I originally tried it in the video, I think I said that I liked it, but the more that I used it throughout the month, I realized that I did not really care for it that much. So the thing that I didn't like about the powder, and you guys can let me know down below if you've been using it, because I've been seeing a lot of people really loving it. I want to love it, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't using it correctly. I don't know. So I'm not sure if that powder is meant to be a baking powder, but if usually when I buy loose powders, I use them for baking. So whenever I would apply that powder underneath my eyes, down the center of my face, I kept finding that the powder would pretty much cling to wherever I placed it underneath my eyes. So I tried it with a bunch of different concealers. Like, I tried it, girl, and I just could not get with it. I felt like it was very dry underneath my eyes. I felt like it looked kind of just crusty and not smooth. And like I said, whenever I applied it underneath my eyes or like on my forehead and I let it bake, when I went in to dust it off with a brush, it just stayed in the spot that I had placed it. Like every time, it just stayed in the spot that I placed it. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. So I ended up just returning that powder because it, you know, is a little bit more pricey. You do get a good bit of product in the packaging, but I could not figure out how to make it work. I'm not against repurchasing it, but I don't know. You guys let me know down below how you use it. Like I said, maybe I just wasn't using it correctly. Maybe it's not meant to be applied in heavy layers as a baking powder. Maybe it's more of like something that you apply with a brush like this underneath the eyes to set. I don't know. Y'all let me know down below if you're using it, if you love it, how you use it. Also, the new Wet n Wild bronzer. So if you guys didn't know, Wet n Wild actually launched a couple of different new products, and one of them was a new bronzer. I picked up the shade Striptease because it was the darkest available bronzer shade that I wanted to try out. And yeah, I picked it up from Walmart. That went back to the store as well, because it literally did not show up on my face at all. It was the darkest available bronzer, which normally I can, like, if a line does not have a good range of bronzers, normally they have one at least dark enough for my complexion, and that bronzer literally did not show up on my face at all. Like I said, it was in the shade Striptease, and it just was non-existent. So I went ahead and returned that one. Unfortunately, I feel like it probably would have been a pretty good bronzer, but the shade range just, they didn't have anything for my complexion, so I just went ahead and returned that. And then last but not least, the most epic fail of them all was the Hourglass Vanish Liquid Foundation. That was my most recent, I think that was the video probably that went up before this one. By the time I edit this one and post it, I think that was the video that went up before this one. Yeah, I went ahead and returned that product as well because it just was a whole no. Now, I did have someone mention in the comment section of that video that maybe I should have tried it without using a primer, because the foundation does say that it's supposed to work no primer needed, but ooh, with my oily skin, I just don't know about that. So maybe I'll go back and get a sample. I had already returned it by that point. I was done with it. I had tried it like 4 or 5 times and it was an epic fail every single time. So I was over it. I had already returned it when she left me that comment and gave me that suggestion. So maybe I'll go get a sample and try it again like that, but I don't know. Like, it's a $56 foundation and I had tried it multiple ways with multiple, like, I just had tried it several different ways and I was over it. So yeah, that was another one that did not work for me. I went ahead and returned it. If you want more, like a more in-depth like chat, I guess, about my experience each of the times that I tried the foundation, I will link that review for you guys so that you can check it out. But that one was a no for me, so she went back to the store. Alright guys, so that is all that I have for today's favorites video, hits and misses. I know it's going to be a pretty long one just because I did include products that I've been loving as well as products that did not work out for me. I normally don't include like the misses, but I kind of wanted to give you guys an update, like I said at the beginning of the video, on some of the products that I have been using and how they have you know, worked out for me as I've continued using them throughout the month. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update because, like I said, some of my thoughts on some of the products have changed. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. But that is all that I have for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I will have all of the products that I talked about in this video, including the misses, linked for you guys down below. So if you want to kind of check out that description box, I always have all the products I mentioned listed and linked for you guys down there. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you have not already, please subscribe. I would love to have you as part of my fam here on YouTube. And that is all that I have for you. So thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next one.